B. Wages should not be determined through collective bargaining. Instead, as practiced in certain tea plantations, wages should be declared and revised periodically through statutory notifications in accordance with changes in the consumer price index. A fixed and transparent timeline for revision of all wages should be established. C. There exists a wide disparity in wages paid to tea workers across different states. Tea workers receive approximately rupees 500 per day in neighboring Sikkim, rupees 489 and 89 paisa per day in Kerala, and rupees 450 and 50 paisa per day in Tamil Nadu. Whereas in West Bengal they receive only rupees 2050 per day. The provisions of the national minimum wage must be effectively implemented in the tea sector to ensure wage uniformity across the country. State governments should also be made accountable for enforcing the declared minimum wages. D. The existing ceiling on payment of bonus should be removed. Further, the provisions following payment of gratuity on a pro rata basis should be withdrawn. Number 2, Industrial Relations Code. A. Clause 3 and Clause 44 of the Industrial Relations Code should be amended to ensure that all registered trade unions having the support of not less than 10% of the total workforce of an establishment are recognized for negotiations on workers' grievances. B. Clause 96, Subclause 2, which empowers the central and state governments to unconditionally exempt new industries, should be amended to safeguard workers' interests. C. Clause 77, Subclause 1, relating to layoff, retrenchment, and closure, permits establishments employing up to 300 workers to undertake such action without prior approval of the state government. Earlier, this threshold was limited to establishment employing up to 100 workers. This provision disproportionately empowers employers and should be suitably amended or withdrawn in the interest of justice for workers. Number 3, Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. Clause 127 of the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code allows governments to exempt industries subject to conditions as they think fit. This provision undermines hard-earned workers' rights and should therefore be deleted. Number 4, land rights. Darjeeling tea and singular plantation workers should be granted patta or land rights over their ancestral lands, which they have occupied since the establishment of tea plantations during the British period. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Commerce, in its report number 171, 2022, titled Issues Affecting the Indian Tea Industry, especially in the Darjeeling region, recognized this long-pending demand and recommended appropriate action. Immediate resolution of this issue is imperative. tea estates. The new labor codes on the issue of closed or abandoned tea estates. There are currently 9 closed tea estates in Darjeeling alone. A separate legal framework to reopen and operate these tea estates in the interest of workers and their families. Number 6, need for a separate establishment act for the tea industry. The tea industry has a distinct character, encompassing both agricultural and individual activities, industrial activities. Several provisions of the new labor codes are not practically implementable in the tea sector. Therefore, to address the sector's specific challenges effectively, a separate establishment act for the tea industry should be enacted. The Parliamentary Standing Committee submitted its report number 171 in 2022, yet its recommendations remain unimplemented. We honestly hope that the issues raised herein will receive your serious consideration and that appropriate measures will be taken in the interest of lakhs of tea plantation workers across the country. Thank you, sir. आदरणीय मंत्री श्री मनसुख जी को अभिवादन करता हूँ और सांसद श्री मनोज टिकर जी को भी अभिवादन करता हूँ। साथ ही अन्य डिग्नेटरीज और जितने भी डेलीगेट्स हैं उनको भी सभी को अभिवादन करते हुए हमारे हिल्स टी गार्डन्स की तरफ से मंत्री महोदय को मेमोरेंडम मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ। टू श्री मनसुख मंडविया जी, Honorable Union Minister for Labour and Employment, Government of India, date 4th January 2026. Subject: Memorandum to the Honorable Union Minister for Labour and Employment regarding the new labour codes and issues concerning TNC. Honorable Sir, we, the undersigned representatives from the Darjeeling Hills, respectfully extend our gratitude to the Government of India for notifying the new labour codes on 21st November 2025. The tea industry occupies a unique position in the country, as it is the only industry where workers reside within the tea estates themselves. Tea workers are born, live, and pass away on the same land, making tea not merely an occupation but an integral part of their lives, culture, and traditions. Therefore, legislation governing such a distinctive sector must be sensitive to its specific realities and ensure comprehensive protection of workers' rights. As the Ministry of Labour and Employment has decided to re-notify the draft rules and invite feedback from trade unions and other stakeholders, we take this opportunity to place the following points before you for your kind consideration. 1. Minimum wages of tea estates and cinchona plantation workers. While fixing the minimum wages of tea estates and cinchona plantation workers, the following issues require serious attention. A. The Code on Wages stipulates that the floor wages shall be determined based on minimum living standards across different geographical regions. In this context, the national floor level minimum wage.
नमस्कार र आज हामी यहाँ सिलगढी
एउटा कार्यक्रम राखेको थियो र केन्द्रका युनियन लेबर मिनिस्टर श्री मनसुख मान्डविया यहाँ आउनुभएको थियो र उहाँसँग दार्जिलिङ तराई डुवर्सको चिया समस्याहरू विषय साथै हाम्रो सिन्कोना बगानको समस्याहरू विषय लिएर एउटा इन्टरेक्सनको कार्यक्रम राखेको थियो र त्यस कार्यक्रम अन्तर्गत हामीले हाम्रो हिल्सको पक्षबाट दार्जिलिङ चियाबारीको जति पनि समस्याहरू छ त्यसबारे अनि भर्खरै केन्द्र सरकारद्वारा जारी गरिएको नयाँ 4वटा लेबर कोड्सहरू जुन चाहिँ लेबर कोड्सहरूमा भएको कतिवटा कमीहरू विषय लिएर त्यो विषय सबै समेटेर हामीले एउटा मेमोरेन्डम बनाएर आज केन्द्र मन्त्री समक्ष त्यो हामीले पढ्यौँ पनि अनि उहाँको हातमा हामीले त्यो सुम्पियौँ पनि र विशेष गरेर जुन चाहिँ वेज मिनिमम वेजको बारेमा पनि हामीले उल्लेख गरेका छौँ जुन चाहिँ मिनिमम वेजमा है नेसनल लर्ड लेभल मिनिमम वेज सरकारले तोक्नुपर्ने हुन्छ र त्यो तोकेर मात्रै मिनिमम वेज डिक्लेरेसन गरेको हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हामीले एउटा हाम्रो तर्फबाट मेमोरेन्डममा उल्लेख गरेका छौँ अनि त्यसरी नै अन्य विषय पनि हामीले राखेका छौँ तर मुख्य विषय हामीले के भनेका छौँ भनेदेखि जुन चाहिँ लेबर कोड्सहरूमा उल्लेख गरेको कानुनहरू छ र त्यो सबै कानुनहरू चाहिँ हाम्रो चियाबारी क्षेत्रमा लागू हुँदैन किनकि जुन चाहिँ चियाबारीको समस्याहरू छ त्यो बाहिर कतिवटा इन्डस्ट्रिजको समस्याहरूसँग मिल्दैन र त्यसले गर्दा हामीले भनेका छौँ कि चियाबारीको निम्ति एउटा अलग्गै एक्टहरू एउटा इस्टाब्लिसमेन्ट एक्ट हुन्छ या केही एक्ट हुन्छ त्यो बनिएको हुनुपर्छ भनेर पनि हामीले राखेका छौँ अनि साथसाथै जुन चाहिँ लेबर कोड्समा लेखेको छैन त्यो कुरा त्यो चाहिँ के हो भन्दा हाम्रो चियाबारी क्षेत्र सिन्कोनाबारीको श्रमिकहरूको निम्ति जमिनको पर्जापट्टा जुन चाहिँ जमिनको पर्जापट्टाको हक अधिकार विषय लिएर स्ट्यान्डिङ कमिटीले पार्लियामेन्ट्री स्ट्यान्डिङ कमिटीले 2022मा पनि आफ्नो रिकमेन्डेसन केन्द्र सरकारलाई बुझाइसकेको छ र त्यो कुरालाई पनि आज हामीले मन्त्री समक्ष राख्यौँ कि श्रमिकहरूको जमिनको आफ्नो अधिकारको निम्ति उनीहरूलाई जुन चाहिँ पुर्ख्यौली जमिन छ एन्सेस्ट्रल जमिन छ र त्यो पुर्ख्यौली जमिनको अधिकारको निम्ति चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई पर्जापट्टाहरू दिएको हुनुपर्छ र त्यो पर्जापट्टा दिनुको निम्ति सरकारले कानुन बनाएको हुनुपर्छ भनेर पनि हामीले उल्लेख गरेका छौँ।